Hey everybody, Ben Fredrickson here alongside Dave Matter for a video episode of the Eye on the Tigers podcast brought to you by Closets by Design of St. Louis. For a limited time, you can get 40% off any order of $1,000 or more, or 30% off any order of $700 or more. On top of that, get an additional 15% off any complete system order. And remember, you get free installation for any complete unit order of $500 or more. Call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to order today. Dave, we're talking spring football here today. The Tigers are underway, and there's, of course, a lot of questions about the offense. Who is going to throw Luther Burden the ball? How is the star receiver settling in? But there's also some questions about the defense. New coordinator, some new players at key spots. Let's start with the one that gets most discussed. Where do things stand with Eli Drinkwitz and his pursuit potentially of a transfer quarterback to add to this depth chart before fall?
Well, it was about a week ago when Jaden Daniels, Arizona State's former starter, 3-year starter, visited Columbia during a recruiting dead period. So to be able to do that, you've got to sign some paperwork. There's a little minutia there that you have to, some loopholes you got to get through. And Missouri was very savvy in finding those loopholes. He visited. They were hoping that maybe he would commit to Missouri either before he left or shortly thereafter. And as we record this, he has not committed anywhere. There's been some buzz that he's looking at some other schools, but I think just the mere fact that he was on Missouri's campus and they are actively pursuing him tells you all you need to know about the quarterback situation, that they are not thrilled going into the year or not content with the players that they have and the players they have coming in, at least for this year, for the 2022 season. Brady Cook, Tyler Macon are on campus now. Sam Horn, they expect to be there in June. So this spring is all about there is a lock. Tommy Locke is a walk-on, but more about Cook and Macon. Eli says there's no depth chart in the spring. It's all about individual player improvement, progress. They're almost kind of at a standstill as far as what's going on with the quarterback situation, and they don't expect to name a starter or anything like that coming out of the spring.
You had a chance to talk with the assistants recently after a practice. What are they saying about where Tyler Macon is and his development? And what do they want to see from Brady Cook and Tyler Macon? Because as of now, they are the most experienced options that Eli has. Sam Horn coming in as a true freshman, that I know hopes are high for what he can do, but that's asking a lot. So what do they want to see out of the returning guys?
Well, they really like the way that Cook and Macon are approaching this competition in this spring, their leadership, their demeanor, their personality. By all accounts, these are two really good guys for the program, but they need to see them play at a really high level to win this job, obviously. I talked to Bush Hamden, the quarterback's coach, about Tyler Macon and his passing mechanics, his accuracy. And Bush said that's a number one thing with Tyler Macon is improving his accuracy as a quarterback, developing a consistent throwing motion. It's something that we didn't necessarily see in his small sample size of reps last year on the field. He would throw some sidearm stuff. He hit a little funky delivery sometimes, and that could work for some quarterbacks. You see it in the NFL all the time. But I think he's still at trying to develop that fundamental base of how he wants to throw the football, and something they're working on with him. And Bush Hamden also said there's 3 or 4 plays of practice that Tyler Macon makes that nobody else on that roster can make. So he does have the upside, but they're still trying to build that passing motion. And that's something that I think he's going to have to develop some consistency there before he can ever, take over this job.
Eli Drinkwitz says that the defense will look similar to how it finished last season under former defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Meanwhile, new defensive coordinator Blake Baker says don't make any assumptions about this defense based on what people saw last year. So which one is it? What do we know about this defense? What will it look like when it hits the field this fall? Hopefully starting off in a better spot than last year's defense was.
Yeah. Baker doesn't want to commit to anything schematically right now. He wants to see what the talent is first and what their strengths and weaknesses are. We do know this much. It's a 4-man defensive line, just like last year. They're going to go with in their base package 2 inside linebackers, which is similar to last year. And from there, you can have some different packages, some different tweaks. If you're going to use 5 defensive backs, is that 3 safeties or 3 corners? We've seen Missouri defensive coordinators under Eli Drinkwitz take different approaches there. Are they going to be a blitz heavy team? Are they going to play more zone than man? So a lot of that is still to be sorted out. I think one thing that should maybe give fans some comfort in knowing, as Blake Baker said, this is a very user-friendly defense, at least his style is. And he pointed to his first years at Louisiana Tech and his first year at Miami, where he was defensive coordinator. They had success. His Miami defense was top 20 in the nation, just about every category, his first year there. Now they fell off a little bit the second year, but he believes that, this defense has the potential to be much improved just based on his history and when he installs his system and having that first year with a new team.
On paper, this defense should be in good shape. We'll see if it can correct some of the wrongs that last year's defense struggled early on in the season with. Keep it locked at stltoday.com for all of your Mizzou football coverage. Are the Tigers going to get that quarterback? Dave will know sooner than everybody else. We'll have it locked at stltoday.com. Keep it there, and we'll talk to you next week here on the Eye on the Tigers video edition.